Okay.
Oh, we have sound. Okay. Well, 10 minutes into the lesson, sorry. אני צריך לשמור את זה? את הסטאפ, או שזה אותו סטאפ שהיה קודם?
לא, זה אותו סטאפ, פשוט זה
Okay.
יתנתק לך.
Okay, let's say that it's like an upper force, the kind of force that the insurance doesn't cover you for. So now we have sound.
אתה תצטרך לפתוח את זה מחדש,
Okay,
כנראה, כי זה...
אבל זה נדלק?
כן,
start when it was normally. Okay. אין איך לא?
זה הנה.
תודה רבה לך.
בהצלחה.
Okay, we're back. So we have sounds. Okay, previously on this lesson, for the first 10 minutes, so we didn't have sound. Nice. Yeah, you're not the only one that doesn't have sound, CC, but hopefully now you have. Yeah, that was not nice, because I was talking for myself for 5 minutes. Yeah, now we have sound because Shai fixed it. Very nice. Okay, I don't know if I should like repeat everything I've said. Let's do it again. Okay, so I was referring to the previous lesson of evil because it was a hot topic, so we had many questions about it. And I answered all of the questions. So the first question was about scapegoat. It could also be called necessary evil. Yes, that's exactly it. We talked about the evil is something that we need in order to advance, and that's why it's not evil if you have the right perspective on it. But if you don't, you suffer from it. Don is asking like justified repression. Well, not exactly, because we're not repressing it, but we want to enlighten it. We want to bring it forward because we want to use it. That's why Baal HaSulam writes in one of his letters that he is happy with the evils that are being revealed. Now, last question was from Benjamin that asked, is Kabbalah Torah thinking that the evil angel, I assume that Satan, no, it's not a Satan, Satan is a different force, or let's say a more precise definition, but let's say the evil angel or the evil force will and does have the proximity to attain forgiveness from Hashem. So Hashem, or the Creator, doesn't need to forgive it because he actually created it, because where did this evil came from if not from this one force that rules it all and moves everything forward? So you can say that what we call forgiveness is actually our understanding in the end of the process why this evil was actually good for us, but we just didn't see it. Okay, so you have examples for that, like in Purim, when we say that in the end goal, we won't recognize the difference between Aman and Mordechai, meaning between the two angels. Also, in Shabbat, for example, we're singing about the two angels that bring you to the state of completeness, the good evil and the bad evil. If so, I would truly appreciate any Torah reference for this, as it's imperative. So I gave you a lot, but there was no sound, so I'll just repeat some of them. Check the article, the piece, check the article Freedom of Choice by Baal HaSulam, Google it. Check article 67 from Shamati, Depart from Evil. Also check letter number 57 of Baal HaSulam about the evil revealed. I think there is another letter where he talks about good and bad, maybe letter 1, so check that as well, okay? So you have a lot of references on that. Good. In the Torah itself, you have a lot of contradictions like that. For example, that Isaac needs to Abraham needs to sacrifice Isaac, his son. So on one hand, he needs to sacrifice his son. On the other hand, the Creator tells him that all the nations of the world will come out of this son. So we don't understand how it comes to be, or when we see there are many examples. I just don't want to go to external stories because they might be confusing. So we answered those questions. Okay. What else? I don't know. Now we have only 15 minutes. Should we start with today's topic or wait for that? I'm not sure about that. I don't know, maybe wait with devotion for next lesson. So you know what, let's change this topic to devotion 1, and next time we'll do devotion 2, okay? Okay, so let's start at least talking about devotion in this lesson, and maybe next time I'll just explain the problem with devotion, and I see we have a lot of questions, and then I'll answer them, and then next time we'll dive into the topic. So what's the problem with devotion? So we are a will to receive. Now if something is good for us, then we are naturally devoted to it, right? So we know that we are devoted out of love. So if I love a baby, if I love a woman, if I love chocolate, if I love drugs, then I'm devoted to them, meaning that I'm willing to give up everything like giving up on myself, nullifying my own desires, and devoting myself to serving something other. Actually, in our egoistic world, we serve a greater pleasure, okay? Would it be? It can be drugs, it can be a baby, it can be a woman, it can be whatever, like a profession, like the corporation I'm employed for. So I'm devoted employee. Like this joke I've heard that you come to the woman you're gonna love and you say, you're the only one, I love you so much, you're the only one, I can't live without you. And actually these are two big problems, because one, you have no alternatives, you are the only one, and B, I cannot live without you, meaning there is no substitute for you, and so it means that you actually have the biggest power over me, because you're holding all of my pleasure, and me as a will to receive are completely under the rule or control of the one who holds the pleasure. Just like if somebody walks in with a gun, I'll be devoted for him because he holds his life in my hands, okay? So this is a big problem, because we're devoted from our nature to pleasure. And the question is, how can you devote yourself to the Creator, which is completely opposite to you? It's the power of bestowal, the power of reception. And actually in the beginning, when you are opposite from the Creator, you feel only darkness and pain coming from the Creator. So how can you devote yourself to Him? And if devotion is actually not for pleasure, then it means that I need to give up on myself by force, meaning that I don't want to do that. And that's a very dangerous place, because we know how much religions and different sects actually took advantage of this naive concept of devotion, and then made people do a lot of bad stuff for themselves, or for the benefit of the abusing force or group or person, or to others. And so devotion can be really can suck big time, okay? So we have a big problem with devotion. We cannot actually attain anything without it, because you need to be devoted even in your life, in your egoistic life, in order to attain something. On the other hand, we are very cynical. We know how people can use this devotion for their benefit and against ours. And of course, there is the deeper problem of us being devoted mainly for our will to receive. So how can we devote ourselves to a force that actually demands us to rise above our will to receive, above our ego, and attain something higher? Well, big questions. As I've said, maybe we'll touch on them today, maybe next time. But I see there are a lot of questions in YouTube, so either there are questions or like irrelevant discussion. Let's see. What is the point of religion? God doesn't care about people. We are just ants to Him. Holocaust, for example, He did nothing. Well, Stephen, you have two big assumptions that I can't really relate to, because what's the point about religion? I don't know. We're not dealing with religion. We're like more into Kabbalah, and it's something completely different, so I cannot relate to religion. Maybe ask somebody from religion to relate to religion. God doesn't care about people. Well, that's a question. What does it mean, caring or not caring? Do you humanize God, or the Creator, and giving him a human characteristic like caring or mercy or vengeance or whatever? So we don't do that. We relate to the Creator as the one law of creation, and this one law is constant. It doesn't change, and it relates to all of reality in a constant way. So can you say about gravity that it cares about people? And that would be weird. Yes, asking, does gravity or does I don't know what like the magnetic electric force in nature cares about people? Well, not in the way we think about, but if you define the Creator as the power or the law that wants to bring all of creation to adhesion with him, and Kabbalists that attain this adhesion say that this point of balance with nature is the optimal point to be in, that actually when a person attains it, he feels that he completely fulfilled his life, then you can say that the Creator cares about bringing people to this point. Does he care about their egoistic will? Well, we see that he doesn't, yeah. Not only the Holocaust, like thousands of years of mostly suffering and a lot of disasters, we see that actually the Creator doesn't act according to our egoistic needs, and it doesn't fulfill us. So it demands us to rise above this ego and ask and investigate nature and ask, what does nature want of us? Okay? And this search actually leads a person to Kabbalah. Okay, technical fix. Doesn't someone need to study Torah before they study Kabbalah? No, they don't. You're lacking a lot of basics. I suggest going to the lowest link in the description box. You have there a free course about Kabbalah, and there you'll learn a lot about what it is and what it isn't, and what's its connection or disconnection, maybe more correctly, with religion, because you tend to confuse them already. Seems like there is no action that just happens. This word is a word of consequences, not causes. Yeah, that's okay. That's interesting, but you can actually say about each consequence that it's a cause for the next consequence. So it's like a chain, and the question is, what is the first initial action? Okay. And also you can ask, do we see on our level the connection between cause and effect? Because sometimes it's not. It seems to us like the Greeks have a lot of paradoxes. Do you say paradox in plural? Paradoxes? I don't know. Well, anyway, they have a lot of this paradoxes. I must check it. I cannot be wrong, and then not sure if I'm wrong or not. Sorry, paradoxes. Yeah, you can say paradoxes, I guess. List of paradoxes. Yeah, you can say. Well, they have these paradoxes about, if you want to hit a target with an arrow, then the arrow needs to pass half of the distance, and in order to do that, it needs to pass half of that distance and half of that distance, and in the end, it's infinite. So actually, the arrow cannot hit the target. And we have a lot of paradoxes of that type that connects time and space. But okay. Stephen asking, quantum mechanics stuff just happens. Yeah, also, so you have in quantum mechanics things that we don't really understand. That's right. The Big Bang, miracle. Well, I'm not sure it's a miracle. Do you define miracle as something that we don't understand? It's the law. Like in Kabbalah, we define a miracle. Well, I see that you need to, Stephen, I suggest that you take some basic courses, because you're missing some language and it could be a problem. It can cause confusion. But I'll say just this, that in Kabbalah we define a miracle as a system of laws that we actually don't perceive yet. So if, for example, I'm on this level, let's say a mechanic physics, and I see phenomena from a level of quantum physics, then they might seem as miracles. But when I attain this level of laws, then I understand the cause and effect, okay? So it really depends on what definition am I talking about. So also in Kabbalah, when you call something a miracle, it's actually some kind of law from a higher level that we see in a lower level that we don't attain or we don't perceive, so we call it a miracle. But it's like a temporary state, only until we attain the source, and then we understand the rule. The Torah, as we've talked about many times ago, the Torah is the light that changes a person, changes the person, or the light that reforms. So, and we have the book of Torah, but the book of Torah is just like a summary of the process of this one Kabbalist, which is called Moses, that went through. Okay, so in it he writes all the steps that he went through, and every one of us that will go through the spiritual process will need to write the book of Torah. So actually, it's like an internal information that we need to attain. Okay, so we can call it light, we can call it the light that changes, we can call it internal information, we can call it potential that needs to be realized, just like in a corporal sperm. You have the information that needs to be realized in matter. So there are a lot of names for that. Skeptical is being good, you're not rude. It's okay. Usually I'm being, they take me down from lessons because I'm cursing too much. So I'm also not a politically correct person, so it's okay to be rude. No one understands quantum physics fully, things happen. Yeah, I agree with that. What's the question here? Okay, so you're asking about a burning bush, the talks. Well, again, I'll just say this, okay? Things that we read about are actions that happen inside of a person. So just like Pharaoh or desert or Egypt are internal forces in a person, and Moses, for example, is the desire that needs to take out a person out of the control of the ego, which is called Pharaoh, and the desire that needs to attain the Creator is called Israel, Yeshar Kel, straight to the Creator, and so it needs to go through 10 blows. These are actions, just like we talked in the previous meeting about necessary evil. These are like the revelation of a person of what the ego causes him, all the pain and suffering until he's willing to get out of the ego, out of its control. And also the burning bush and everything that later has happened, they are all internal phenomena. And of course the Creator is also a force that the person reveals inside of himself, not just like a surround system that talks or something. Dalia is asking devotion to regard relationship. Okay, remind me about that next time. I'll give some examples of. There are a lot of examples because there are a lot of similarities in a relationship between male and female in our world to the root, meaning the relationship between a creature and the Creator, because the Creator is a female in Kabbalah. It's a desire, it's a lack to the fulfillment of the Creator, which is the light, which is the abundance. So because of that, we have a lot of parallels to that in our couple relationship between male and female, which in most cases are like animal relationship, because there is not much difference between us and animals in this level, on the hormone level. But if you're talking about a higher kind of love, like we say that a man and a woman can actually reveal the Creator between them, and then we need to talk about it maybe more next time, because I don't have time for that. More questions? Okay, no more questions. We're out of time. So again, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry that we've wasted 10 minutes about technical problems. Next time I'll check it. It's just that, like, you know, there is no problem, and suddenly there is. So I'm sorry for that. So we did some Q&A today, and we talked about the problem of devotion. Maybe we'll elaborate on that next time. Anyway, next time we'll go over the links I've posted in the description. Very good stuff there, so you can read it in the meantime. And that's it for now. Take care. See you next time. Bye, people.